We also want to get to some breaking new details from U.S. officials that they provided an update for last hour on yesterday's shooting in Washington that left 2 members of the National Guard in critical condition in hospital. A suspect is also undergoing treatment after being shot. Here's what the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia said just a short time ago.
Unfortunately, today, as most families join together to give thanks for the blessings that have been bestowed upon them, 2 families are shattered and destroyed and torn apart as a result of the actions of one man. First and foremost, our hearts go out to the victims and their families. These are dedicated service members who were performing their duties in service to our nation, and they are currently in critical condition. They have undergone surgery. We pray for their well-being as they continue to be cared for in the best possible way.
We want to bring in now the CBC's Rafi Boudjikanian. He's in Washington, and he was tracking the latest developments, listening into that update as well with multiple officials who were giving details. So what more did we hear about that attack yesterday, just blocks away from the White House?
We learned more about the suspect as well as the 2 victims. We now know their names, Sarah Beckstrom and Andrew Wolf. We know they were 20 and 24 years old. We know that they enlisted only 24 hours ago or thereabouts, according to the officials. They are in critical condition, as you noted. We also heard more about that suspect. We have learned that he used to live in Washington State, so he drove across the country, according to the officials, in order to perpetrate this crime. There have been search warrants issued. His residence in Washington State was searched. Officials say they seized multiple laptops, cell phones. They have begun to comb through those. They have linked the suspect to associates, they said, in San Diego, associates who have been interviewed and are still in the process of being interviewed. The suspect is facing assault with a weapon charges. We heard that he shot at one of the 2 National Guards once yesterday at around 2:15 in the afternoon, and then multiple times more once that guard hit the ground before attacking the other guard. We had previously heard there was an exchange of gunfire before the suspect was apprehended, and now we know what I think we're all reading between the lines earlier, that means the suspect himself was shot before he was taken to hospital, where he remains under heavy guard. As for that charge, it would be upgraded to murder in the first degree if one of the 2 National Guards succumbs to their injuries. They've both been through surgery at this point. Have a listen to what more officials had to say.
This individual is in this country for one reason and one reason alone, because of the disastrous withdrawal from the Biden administration and the failure to vet in any way, shape, or form this individual and countless others. And this administration has taken the rightful step to stop any further allowance of people with this similar background into the country.
So that was FBI Director Kash Patel, one of many who spoke at the news conference. And he, like U.S. President Donald Trump himself, was criticizing the Biden administration for letting in Afghan nationals in 2021 after Kabul fell to the Taliban, according to them, without proper vetting going through for those nationals. I should note, though, that according to U.S. media such as CNN, though the individual entered the U.S. 4 years ago, he only actually gained asylum status this year.
You know, you mentioned, Rafi, the U.S. president, and he's used some strong language in condemning this attack. What other actions is his administration taking in light of the shooting, and what have we heard from President Donald Trump?
Yeah, he came out last night in a video and, as you said, used quite strong language. He sort of spoke out against migrants from across the world, not just Afghans. The one action the administration has taken is specifically to indefinitely suspend processing for paperwork related to any Afghan nationals, and that is since last night. We also know the U.S. president is seeking 500 more National Guard troops on the ground in D.C. That's on top of the 2,000 that have been deployed to patrol this city since last August. Again, the Biden administration had set up multiple programs for Afghan migrants in 2021, sort of like we also saw in Canada with the Immigration Department in Canada. And those programs were to help out Afghans who had been allies of the U.S. military during its operations there and who no longer felt safe under the Taliban. Trump now saying all of this has to be re-examined.
We must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here or add benefit to our country. If they can't love our country, we don't want them. America will never bend and never yield in the face of terror.
Now, again, Trump there was not speaking just about Afghans. He was speaking about migrants from across the world, though the current suspension, at least as far as we know so far, is only on Afghan nationals.
Thanks for this, Rafi. That is the CBC's Rafi Boudjikanian in Washington.